It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Tennessee bonus hour of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, our very good friend for many years, Clint Brewer, our all-star panelist, recovering journalist, all-around good guy, public affairs specialist, expert. Welcome, Clint.
Thanks, man. Good to be here.
Want to talk about a couple Tennessee stories in this segment, and then we'll get to some national stuff in the next segment. We sent our condolences out to the family of Bill Freeman.
Yes.
Who died Sunday night. Apparently a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Mm-hmm. He was 73. He was, larger than life. Yeah. If you could, pardon me for the use of that phrase. But, I mean, he was Freeman Webb that's the real estate development company in Nashville.
Yeah, it's a gigantic company. He was a terrific businessman. He invested in local journalism with the Nashville Post and the Nashville Scene. Huge fundraiser for the Democratic Party nationally for many years. Had a ongoing battle at one point with Governor Bredesen, which was entertaining. And
we love that.
Yeah, and was a feisty, guy who liked to mix things up and used to speak his mind a lot and really put his money where his mouth was, got involved in things. Not necessarily our side of the aisle, but I appreciated his, passion for politics and public service. Was a Nashville mayoral candidate. Came in third the year Mayor Barry
2015.
won.
And
right?
by the way, for those of you who look at alternate histories, if he'd won,
it'd been a very different
Nashville. It'd been a very different Nashville. And would have been, in my view, a better Nashville.
Yeah, and he, he gave a lot to this city. There was a quote in the paper today about how I don't think the person speaking said that they weren't sure Nashville realized just how much Bill Freeman gave to the city monetarily to different causes around town, and that he's going to, big void, not just in contributions, but in leadership. Just a great guy that I knew off and on for many years, and he'll be missed. It's a very sad thing.
Yeah, exactly right. And, his son, Bob Freeman, state rep, good guy.
Yep.
Democrat, don't agree with him on issues, but he's really been a terrific guest on our program.
Yeah.
And we send condolences.
A Democrat that'll come on the program.
I think, is there any, well, yeah, he's the only one who actually will come on the program, Bob Freeman. Yeah. Because Freddie O'Connell is gone with the wind,
It's too bad. You and Freddie had a good rapport.
We did. But back to the circumstances of his passing, apparently according to the police, they were investigating his apparent suicide. He had, for the past couple of years, he'd had some very significant health problems. Yeah. Had a couple strokes.
Right.
And so we are just, we extend our condolences to the Freeman family. And
Same.
Bob Freeman.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, state issues. So there's this bill idea that Todd Warner has introduced. He's going to introduce. And I'm skeptical of it. Todd, of course, is my representative. He represents just a tiny piece of Williamson County and much of Marshall and Murray County. And we notably had conflict with him because he opposed the governor's school choice program, universal school choice, and for bad reasons. And we threatened to find a primary challenger to him. We did not succeed in that.
How much time did you put into that endeavor, Mike?
I put some time into it.
Okay.
I mean, some people said, "Hey, Leahy, why don't you do it?" And believe me, that's not something.
I thought that's maybe why you were so dressed up today.
No.
I thought maybe you're getting a cabinet position or something. You're all. I feel underdressed for the show.
Oh, you look fine.
Okay.
You look fine. But here's the thing on it. So we gave him a hard time about that, and we're going to continue to give him a hard time on it. We're going to invite him back to talk about it in a Joe Rogan sort of way.
Sure.
I was a little harsh on him. I must admit.
Harsh on somebody?
I'm
shocked that there's gambling in this saloon.
I was a little hard on him.
Yeah.
But you can't look. Hey, if Joe and Mika can have a conversation with Donald Trump
Yeah.
I can have a conversation with my state representative, who I disagree with.
So what's the new bill?
It's a little weird. It's a bill that would say if an illegal alien is apprehended and is placed in custody in a Tennessee jail, and if for some reason they are not sent off to their residential country, then they will be sent.
Country of origin?
Their country. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a more accurate term, because you are precise about language.
I would say that if they're here, we are their residential country. You mean their country of origin.
See, you got me on the line. This is a journalist. This guy is
Trying to help you, Mike. Just here to help.
So the idea is they would either, if for some reason they're not sent back to their country of origin, they would in fact be transferred to a sanctuary city in the United States that is not in Tennessee.
So it's like Governor DeSantis light. Is that what we're doing?
I think that's kind of what he's after.
Yeah.
Now, I understand the sentiment, Representative Warner.
He doesn't want to keep them here, and he wants them to go back to their country,
Of
but
origin.
he doesn't have any control over that really as
No.
a state government. So if they sit here for an undetermined amount of time,
He doesn't want
So
them to
that-
sit here. He wants them to sit in a sanctuary city. Like send them to Chicago.
Send them somewhere where they are actively recruiting.
So I would say I understand the sentiment, Representative Warner, but it seems impractical to the extreme. I mean, how would that actually work?
Well, I mean, I think a more practical thing would be to set some standards for how long state and local government can actually keep a verified illegal immigrant here. And if it goes past, I don't know, 90 days, 120 days, then we begin, people are compelled, you shall, not may, but shall begin proceedings to transfer them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's a symbolic kind of thing. It's a DeSantis light idea.
Right.
But the practicality is it. Look, our good friend Tom Homan, fellow upstate New Yorker, the kind of guy that, on your football team you wanted to carry the ball.
Yeah.
When it was 4th and 1.
Well, you might want him to block at least.
You
right?
definitely wanted to block.
I'm not
or
sure how
tackle.
fast he was with the ball, but he definitely could block.
I'm going to get the job done.
Right.
So that guy, though, I don't think what you want to do. I mean, he's going to come into these states.
Yeah,
and
I know it would preempt whatever the revised immigration programs are going to be here, right? It might be a little cart before the horse.
Yeah, I think, and really, I don't understand the circumstance, because he's going to come in and he's going to find these illegal aliens, and he's going to take them out of the country, right? And I guess this particular bill idea that Todd Warner has is if somehow these illegal aliens are in custody, having committed a crime, a different kind of crime, and they're in a jail here in Tennessee, and for whatever reason, that jail will not allow ICE to pick them up.
Well,
it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and that's we haven't gotten very far into what the public policy is going to be around this. I mean, every major legacy media outlet in America just keeps screaming the phrase mass deportations across the top of their website every chance they get. I'm not sure that's what it's going to look like. That's a phrase that's more the media's phrase than it is the Trump administration's phrase. I mean, he's not out there shouting about mass deportations. I mean, he is saying we are going to deport the people who need to be deported.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look, for all of the angst coming from the left about the concept of greater deportations, let's not call them mass, let's call them greater. The last president to deport the most people was
Barack Hussein Obama.
That's right.
We're just following Barack Hussein Obama's example.
Well, I mean, that's the point. So
Yeah.
Obama deported, I think the figure I read was like 1.8 million.
yeah, a lot.
And I think Trump was at 1.2 in his first
When we
term.
come back, what's going on in the Trump Game of Thrones? Looking for cabinet positions. Back
Okay.
after this.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. You know, Clint Brewer, all-star panelist in studio with us. Clint, you know, the late, great Andrew Breitbart always said politics is downstream from culture. And, you know, one of the things that we see right now, surprising, but just like so exciting, is the culture, which was for so long against America first, totally flipped.
Yeah,
it's now cool to be MAGA.
Yeah, I mean it's not it's certainly not verboten any longer. I mean, you know, it's like you see, and I don't know if it's due to the just sort of holistic thumping that the Democrats took, but
see, this is why we have you in holistic thumping.
Yeah, here we go.
That's such a great turn of phrase.
But I mean, the win was so complete, and it went across, you know, both branches of government, and I just think that people are out there kind of reassessing and saying, well, okay, so maybe this isn't so far outside the mainstream after all. You know, maybe this isn't, you know, it's the whole Michael Jordan things. Republicans wear shoes too, or buy shoes too. And, but I mean, it's become kind of ubiquitous. I mean, we were talking during the break over the weekend and into this week across multiple sports, professional sports, you've seen athletes score or do something positive on the field and break into what people are calling the Trump dance.
Yeah, and by the way, look, it's a cornball dance.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this little hip level fist pumping.
It's a white guy trying to.
Well, it's a 78-year-old white guy.
It's a 78-year-old white guy. I can relate because that's about my level of.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
Which I think what people like about it is it's okay to have fun again.
Well,
right?
And I think that you know, and the post game analysis on the election has been ad nauseum, but you know, in the final days, what did you see? Well, you saw Vice President Harris spending millions of her donors' dollars staging rallies with celebrities. You saw Donald Trump serving fries in a McDonald's drive-through window
and driving a garbage truck.
With
a
truck.
Garbage vest.
And I mean, like, you know, he did some pretty earthy things.
He's having fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that I just think you just sort of and he went unfiltered. I mean, he just said whatever he's thinking. And there's this interesting news story going around. You should check it out. And it's telling of where we are in American politics right now. So apparently, I don't know if Trump carried her district, but AOC went on an exploratory mission.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't understand why so many people in her district voted for Trump.
Voted for her and Trump.
And both of them.
What a crossover.
Well, and the answer she supposedly got back, and I heard this on a podcast, was, well, you're both real. Now, you can say what you want about her policies or her political acumen, but, I mean, she was a bartender who went to Congress, right? And so, I mean, say what you want about her, but she's pretty real. I mean, she's not poll tested. She doesn't exude the air of a East Coast elite. She's a lady from New York, right? I mean, like, that comes across.
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, you look at that, I think real and authentic sort of carried the day. I think we're so inundated by things that aren't real and authentic because of our phones and social media that what people want, regardless of party, is somebody who's just kind of being themselves.
Yeah, very good point. I agree. And by the way, Trump, I mean, he has been himself. He's been everywhere.
Right.
And he's the same guy.
Right.
He's the same guy. Love him or hate him, people know who Donald Trump is.
Yeah.
And people know what he stands for.
Well, and I think in your line of work, what I've tried to explain to some of my liberal friends who are just obviously, as you would expect, very distraught about the results, and they go on the litany of things, the sort of list of Donald Trump's transgressions alleged and real, right? The laundry list. It's J6 and everything back, right? And, you know, what I tell them is, look, whether your version of events are true or the other side's version of events are true, what I can tell you is that the delivery mechanism, the messenger for that, is now one of the least trusted entities in America, and that's the legacy press.
Oh my gosh!
So I mean, it's not that they're not getting the information; it's they don't believe the people telling them.
And there are so many examples of it. And we've played for 60 Minutes. They did this intro. Scott Pelley, self-impressed Scott Pelley, and he talked about the Trump nominees, and he just smeared them all in a very biased yellow journalism sort of way. 10 years ago, that would have had an impact.
No, nobody cares.
Right now, to borrow a phrase from the late, great Ronald Reagan, there you go again.
Well, exactly. And I mean, I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine, young guy from New York. He's a Democrat. He worked on Biden's first campaign. We've worked on non-political projects together for some time, corporate stuff. Great young guy, smart young guy. Able to set his partisanship aside to work on things with the people across the aisle. And, I walked him through it, and I was like, it's you can put all this information together all you want, and you can say it the way you want, but if the people saying it for you aren't believed, doesn't matter. And right now, where Americans are hearing that narrative is almost exclusively from the press. And there's a trust deficit there, a deep one. A very
huge.
Deep one.
And look, what's happened is the legacy media, it's totally collapsing.
Well, Joe Rogan has a bigger following
Yeah.
and a bigger audience than CNN does. Just say that out loud. mean, like a CNN weeknight primetime audience is down to under 250,000 Americans. Did you ever think that would happen in our lifetimes? No. And so, look at what's happening to MSNBC's ratings post-election. I mean,
why do you think Joe and Mika begged Donald Trump to meet with him?
Oh, yeah.
Because, look, MSNBC is going to be put up for sale by Comcast. And they've irritated a good chunk of their audience by telling everybody Trump was Hitler and then begging for a meeting with him.
Right.
After he wins. Also, I'm going to call it the RFK Jr. effect. One of his main themes is going to be, the United States apparently now is only one of 2 countries that allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise on television. He's going to want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And I think he might succeed. The biggest advertisers on MSNBC are pharmaceuticals and CNN.
Yeah.
Now that's going to hurt regime media even more.
Regime media.
Oh yeah.
See, I was saying legacy media. It's mainstream media, legacy media, regime media all mean the same thing.
They do.
Old school media. Old school media.
Regime is a little more biting.
Yeah.
As you might expect.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But but I just think that you can't, where people get their information now is so splintered. And the pitching stories to, cable television news talking heads doesn't work anymore.
It's like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, nobody's actually watching. Like, unless it's Fox, nobody's watching.
Fox is up.
I know.
And you know who else is up? Newsmax.
Really?
Big time. Yeah. And Chris Ruddy is taking Newsmax public. And he's apparently been successful with that. And so they're going to end up, I think it's going to be really, really good to have Newsmax. It's going to be Newsmax, I think. Newsmax and Fox will survive.
Right.
I think MSNBC will be sold. And you know who I think might buy them? Let me give you a hint.
The Onion?
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. That's funny. No, I think, you ready for your hint? I predict that in January of 2026, MSNBC will be known as XBC.
Oh, wow. That would be funny. I heard something crazy that Rachel Maddow's contract's like $30 million a year.
For 1 week a night.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about misreading everything.
No kidding.
There's one worse contract. Can I flip to sports metaphors?
It's not mine. It's not my contract with you. I can tell you that right now.
Are you looking for a raise? Well, I mean, you certainly deserve one. Now, remember, they signed, the New York Giants football Giants signed Daniel Jones, their quarterback, to like a $60 million deal for 4 years. His record in the past year and a half is 3 wins and 16 losses.
Yeah, he's not very good.
Well, I mean,
neither the Giants.
It's not working out. But my point is, Dan Jones was a better value to the New York Giants than Rachel Maddow is to MSNBC.
Well, it's just I mean, completely misread the situation. And, and look, I mean, Trump's bringing Democrats in the administration. I mean, Gabbard, RFK.
So she's now a Republican.
Right. But,
asterisk.
Right.
RFK. Look, I think it's fantastic that RFK is going to be nominated at HHS.
But I mean, the whole, sort of screaming about democracy thing, they just weren't believed.
No, they weren't.
They weren't believed.
See, this is why I'm so optimistic about the future. When we come back, we're going to talk about what that future actually is. And I'll tell you why. Because it looks like Joe Biden is literally planting bombs for Donald Trump on the world scene. Back with more after this. to say a few words about our friends at the Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road. The Nashville Pizza Company in Franklin reminds us that the current economic times have been tough on many families in our area, and many are finding it hard to make ends meet. Your donations of clothing or canned goods can make a difference for a family in need. During this holiday season, give from the heart so others can have a new start. That's courtesy of our friends at Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road in Franklin. They are always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it. Believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed
This
by
summer,
Donald
never
Trump.
leave pets in vehicles while running errands. Even with windows cracked, 80 degrees can shoot up to 120 degrees, causing heat stroke, dehydration, and even death. So keep pets hydrated, shaded in cool areas, or just leave them at home. That's from Kathy, Candy, and the staff at Mutts Cuts Grooming, the people with warm hearts for those with cold noses. For your pet's grooming needs, call 931-645-9220. That's 931-645-9220 for Mutts Cuts Grooming in Clarksville, Tennessee at 1479 Tiny Town Road.
Hey there, this is Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of The Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Clint, you like it when I'm fired up.
I do.
I like it when I'm fired up. Our listeners like it when I'm fired up. Okay, so before the election and right after he got out of prison, Stephen K. Bannon predicted that we had four segments, 4 quarters of a battle ahead of us. The first was to get Trump to run through the tape till Election Day. The second segment he predicted was to fight off all of the anticipated Mark Elias legal battles that he thought would continue to December 15th. The third would be to go from December 15th to Inauguration Day. And the fourth would be the full year thereafter. So, you know, the good news is that that second segment didn't happen because the margin of victory was well beyond the margin of fraud. And so we're going to go right now. We only have 2 more segments in front of us. We have between now and the inauguration, which is like 61 days. Then we have that first year, the first year where we're basically going to try and disrupt, dismantle the left-wing administrative state. Having said that, this next period of time, this next 61 days, are fraught with trouble. And the trouble isn't so much who's going to be nominated to be in the cabinet. The trouble is what crazy things is Joe Biden going to do to literally leave a bomb in Trump's second term. And the first thing he did over the weekend is he told Ukraine, hey, you know those long-range missiles we have? which we told you couldn't use to fire into Russia, you can use them now. And that was not well received by Putin in Russia.
Yeah.
Then Ukraine, this morning,
some long-term pledge for funding.
Sent off. But they sent off 6 of those missiles.
Right.
Russia shot 5 of them down. One of them didn't fully shoot down. I don't think there were any civilian casualties to it. But the point is, Russia has reacted by saying, "Okay, we are changing our plans on our nuclear policy.
Mm-hmm.
If a country armed by another country invades us, we can go nuclear." Okay, this is not what you call de-escalation.
No.
This is called escalation. This is a dangerous 61 days.
Yeah.
Right
very,
now.
Very.
And look, it wasn't Joe Biden who did this. Joe Biden was like wandering through the rainforest in Peru with, a bunch of the other leaders who were trying to point him to the dais to stand, and he couldn't find the photographs. He just read what, the Obama minions who've been running the country for a while told him
that's
to.
what I was saying. I saw this morning he just made some 4-year pledge for funding to the Ukraine war, and I'm like, you don't have the authority to do that anymore. Like, you're not going to be here.
Yeah, he's just trying to gum up the works here for Donald Trump.
It's just so strange.
The other thing about, again, I think this is really the string pullers, really, who are trying to make it hard. The string pullers who've really been around the government, because as you know, on Wednesday, when Donald Trump went to the White House and met with Joe Biden in person, I don't think I've ever seen Joe Biden look happier in the past several months.
You mean when Joe Biden welcomed the guy he'd been calling a Nazi for 4 years into the White House?
Right.
That guy?
That guy.
Okay.
Why was he smiling? I'll tell you why he was smiling. Because he hates Kamala Harris's guts. And he doesn't want to be upstaged by Kamala Harris. It's an "I told you so" to Nancy Pelosi. But by the way, Nancy Pelosi, there's another person who's past her sell-by date. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's definitely past her sell-by date. Well, I find all this humorous. I mean, and it's been pointed out repeatedly online. I don't think anybody's written about it really of any consequence. But all of these folks pretty much called every Republican out there fascists and Nazis and all that. But then they committed to a peaceful transition. Shouldn't they be the French resistance? I mean, shouldn't they? I mean, like, what are we talking about here? You can't have it both ways.
This is dangerous, though, right now.
No, it's incredibly dangerous because of what you just outlined. I mean, they running around making promises that this country's not going to keep. Trump's already said that I'm ending these wars. So. I don't even know why he would go out and, it's just nonsensical. But you're right. It's the lanyards. That's who's running everything, are the lanyards.
Mm-hmm.
The 27-year-olds with lanyards.
Yeah. And nothing should scare you more than a Ivy League 27-year-old with a lanyard setting the policy course for the United States of America.
Setting the geopolitical policy course for all of Western society.
Boom.
By sending the president who can't walk down the beach out there to say stuff.
This is, I don't know why this is happening, but...
It's happening for the same reason that he didn't withdraw in time. Because the people behind him wanted to stay in power.
Well, now Trump... Here is interesting thing about Trump. Trump is basically hasn't said anything about this.
Yeah.
Since it's happened. Now, why is that? Why has he not said anything about it?
Well, that's a fair...
At least publicly.
Why hasn't he said anything about it?
Right.
I think he's already said what's going to happen. I don't think him fighting in public with the sitting president, I don't think it looks good,
Yeah. I think
he's already told him what he's going to do.
There may be some back channel stuff going on.
Right. There definitely is.
But he's clearly decided this doesn't advance the cause.
No.
At all for me to say anything publicly.
No.
Right.
Him going after Biden and telling everybody what he thinks about Biden and all these promises and all these permissions. The interesting thing to me is that Ukraine would take advantage of it when they know what's coming.
See, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Well, it's just so illogical.
But look, I think this Zelensky guy is the ultimate con man, right?
Yeah.
He's by the way, he got to start as a comedian, right?
Yeah.
And
but if France and Germany and Poland, all want to go in there and support this war in the middle of Europe, then let them. But I mean, we don't have to. And it's not because it's not important. It's just that, at this point in history, we have other things to focus on.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do. And but I think right now, Zelensky sees this as it's all coming down in 61 days.
Oh, absolutely.
He will not determine anything in 61 days. What will happen if we make it there? That afternoon, January 20th. By the way, are you going to the inauguration?
I will not be. I have to be in another state for another reason. But
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go because it's critical. It is literally historic.
Yeah.
But you're going to basically that afternoon on the 20th, Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, and Donald Trump will get on the phone and say, all right, Zelensky, Vladimir.
Cutting you off.
Yeah. Zelensky, you're getting no more dough. And Putin, I got those nuclear weapons too, buddy.
Yeah.
And so they're going to, and they said, you're going to stop this right now. Y'all are going to cut a deal. Stop everything.
Yeah.
And wherever Russia, I think what's going to happen is, wherever Russia is on the afternoon of January 20th is where they will be. They're not going to concede any of it.
Well, you saw Debbie Wasserman Schultz calling Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset.
Yeah, and the rationale for that was she called for a pardon of Edward Snowden. That's it.
Right.
Okay, so this is you want to talk about a case of defamation?
Right.
Tulsi Gabbard could. Oh, people are tired of all this back and forth, right? I mean, it's more like, come on, Debbie.
I think the Democrats now, they're just out in the wilderness throwing bombs with everything they can, just everything they think of, and I don't know what else there is for them at this moment in history. Now, maybe there'll be another moment in history where they'll be more relevant, but right now, it just all looks like desperation.
They have no coherent theme going forward.
No, well, they're fighting amongst themselves.
Now, there is this. I mean, we can't get away from these pollsters. So, pollster, I forget which
the
one.
The one in Iowa retired.
Oh, Ann Seltzer, yeah.
She retired.
Yeah, well, in shame.
Yeah.
She the day before the election, Ann Seltzer, who's, the most respected
5-point lead.
No, she said Kamala had a 3-point lead, and Kamala got totally torched in Iowa by 13. She was off by 16 points.
Yeah.
I mean, Ann Seltzer has no choice but to retire.
Right.
Nobody will hire her with a straight face unless they want, By the way, I'd like to see how much the Harris campaign paid her for that asterisk. Yeah, I think there's something. I think she got a big retirement bonus.
Possibly, yeah. But Iowa? Why Iowa?
Who knows?
It's so strange.
Who knows? But speaking of these dopey polls, so then there's this one pollster that's putting out, who do you want in 28? Oh my gosh. Give me a freaking break.
Wow.
Right?
It's like the preseason poll that comes out the day after the national championship game.
It's like, please. And it's totally stupid because it shows, well, Kamala Harris is the front runner for the Democrat nomination. No, she's not. I mean, all that's measuring is her current name ID.
My God, please.
Please
let her be the nominee, please.
So Kamala Harris is not going to have a mental transformation over the next couple of years.
Well, she might have a mental transformation. I'm not sure it's going to be in the. And I'm not sure it's going to be additive to a presidential campaign.
Look, is there any failed presidential candidate who, other than Bob Dole, who hasn't turned into a complete nutcase? Michael Dukakis, Al Gore, Mitt Romney. Something happens. Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, once you lose that, you're kind of done.
Well, it's not like, the old days of, as you may recall, William Jennings Bryan, who ran 3 times for president as a Democrat nominee.
I mean, I wasn't alive when that happened.
Really?
I don't recall that.
I'm teasing. But
you were like a junior in high school.
I was in elementary school.
Okay.
Come on now. Come on, man. But, it's, that impersonator really good of Kamala Harris?
No.
I missed
that.
She's really funny. And she's doing like Kamala Harris on the phone applying for jobs. Dunkin'
Does it start
Donuts.
with "I came from a middle class family"?
Yeah. And McDonald's, and it's just too much fun. Where does I don't care where she goes. The idea that she would be the nominee of the Democratic Party would be delightful, but they're not that stupid, right?
I think Gavin Newsom would, probably have her taken out if that were the case. Some of these fellas are really eager.
Gavin is eager, but Gavin Newsom will. They don't have anybody.
Well, that has been one of the points of commentary. I like to listen to what did you call it? Regime media?
Regime
I like
media.
to listen to regime media to sort of see what the thought process is, on all sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that keeps being said. If authenticity is the new bar, their bench is really shallow.
They got nobody authentic.
No.
So sad. We'll be back with more. It'll be time for News Potpourri when we get back.
Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Clint, your favorite part of the program. We still don't have Rocky Top up. We do have.
Why not?
Well, I think there's.
If they make the college football playoffs, Patrick, can I get Rocky Top?
Well, I think there's some copyright things. Maybe
is that it? You need a license?
Maybe we'll have to
paid your ASCAP fees or something.
Maybe Patrick and I need to sing it for you.
Oh, that would work. Yeah,
I don't think so.
That would work.
All right, it's time for News Potpourri. Yes, News Potpourri, that's the portion of the program where we talk about the stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and have a touch of irony. Here's one, a little bit weird, not weird, concerning. In Virginia, the very able Attorney General there, Republican, Jason Myers, has decided he's not running for governor. And that leaves it wide open for Winsome Sears, who's the lieutenant governor. Winsome has been sort of a never Trumpy type, on and off, but she'll get the nomination. She's running against Abigail Spanberger, who's a former CIA person, the one who beat Dave Bratt for Congress. And I don't think this augurs well for Republicans in Virginia in 2025. Virginia, it's like every year they have an election. It's exhausting.
Is Youngkin not running for another term?
Well, in Virginia, their constitution only allows you to serve one term at a time.
Oh,
you can
right.
serve
I did know that.
non-consecutive terms, right? So in other words, Youngkin could run again in 4 years after 2029, but not. And they do the off-year election. Only New Jersey has this thing, right? Off-year elections.
That's how Terry McAuliffe kept getting elected.
Well, Terry McAuliffe ran one time, lost, and then ran again and won.
Right.
And then
that's why it kept trying it, because you had to sit one out anyway.
And then Youngkin, but see, this is why, of course, we love the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
The best state in the union, state income tax free. And we have in Tennessee 2 consecutive term limit, 4 years each. So you serve 8 years. I think that's just exactly right.
Yeah.
I do. Look, because you don't want a governor serving 3 terms for 12 years. Like in New York State, they could do it forever.
Right.
And then you had Nelson Rockefeller, and, it's not good. But 8 years is plenty of time to be governor.
I think most governors would agree with you that 8 years is plenty of time.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and
it's a very hard job.
It's a very hard job. Speaking of hard jobs, how would you like to be the prime minister of Sweden or Finland today? Because they're looking at the world, and they're looking at, the United States provided these long-term missiles that Ukraine just shot into Russia. Apparently, I don't know if it's exactly, they shot them all down, basically. There's no harm done. I wonder if it's like Iran when they sent those missiles into Israel.
Yeah, they have a missile defense system.
I wonder if they said, hey, Russia, we're sending these missiles over. I don't know. Probably not. But Sweden and Finland now, they're urging their residents to be ready for war. This is not a good thing, I don't think. What do you think?
No, it's not a good thing. Ground war in Europe is not ever a good thing.
World War I. You look back on wars that should never have happened. World War II is a war that had to happen.
Yes.
But World War I was a war that never should have happened.
Right.
And think of all the people that died. Think of what it did to the United Kingdom. They wiped out a generation of young men.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to really worry if Ukraine's priority is to push things far enough where there's a point of no return.
I think that's what
for the continent.
That's
of Europe.
what that little punk Zelensky's trying to do. By the way, he goes around in these T-shirts, right, looking like a tough guy. Donald Trump has apparently told him, "You are never meeting with me in a T-shirt. When we meet in person, you will wear a shirt and tie and a suit." I like that.
He gave Zelensky a dress code?
Yes. Zelensky has a dress code right now.
Gotcha.
I like that. I think it's Trump being the alpha male. Another example of they went down here to this, I don't know, this APEC summit in Peru, and they did like 20 world leaders. Joe Biden, they took a picture of all leaders without he wasn't there, and then the other picture they took, he was in the back. Trump would never let that happen. Trump is the leader of the free world. And you see these clips of Trump with international people. A guy was trying to push him back. He just pushed him aside. There I am, Donald Trump, America. America. I love it. Hey, did you see this? When Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was announced as the Secretary of HS, pharmaceuticals just tumbled, didn't they?
Yeah. Particularly ones that make immunizations.
Got a breaking story just now. Alvin Bragg, DA of New York, sent a letter in the People versus Trump. Dear Justice Merchant, as a result of the election held on November 5th, defendant's inauguration will occur on January 20th. In light of that development, defendant asked the DA to dismiss the prosecution. The People requested a brief adjournment to evaluate this request, which the court granted. And our view, for the reasons fully explained below, the People believe that the court should set a motion schedule for defendant's forthcoming motion to dismiss, which the People intend to oppose. So he's still, so they've delayed it. He's still trying to play. He's trying to play hardball.
I think he should say, "Come get me."
Come get me. He's saying set a date and we intend to oppose it. Is he basically saying, I have no other option but to pretend that I want to oppose that motion?
I don't know. That's crazy.
I don't know. Well, meanwhile, if I'm Alvin Bragg, I'm hired my own attorney because let's see if Matt Gaetz becomes AG or Todd Blanche, right, the deputy AG, the one who defended President Trump so ably in any of these myriad of cases. He'll be able to go after
all the ties to the Biden campaign
and malicious prosecution and election interference. I'm telling you, Alvin Bragg, what's going to disrupt your plans to oppose this dismissal and your lawsuit against Stephen K. Bannon. You, sir, the hunter, you're about to become the hunted, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, they do seem very defiant.
And on that note, Clint Brewer, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Enjoyed it.
Always fun. Up next, Rob Carson. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I hope you have a great day. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Michael Patrick Leahy. I want to say a word about my good friend Dustin Damon. Dustin is the best handyman in Middle Tennessee. Call Dustin today at 724-683-4400. That's 724-683-4400 if you have a job around the house that you just haven't gotten around to. If you're busy like me, you just may not have the time to fix that broken mailbox, repair the back porch, or get that old light fixture back to working properly. Do what I did. Call Dustin Damon today at 724-683-4400, and he will bring his truck and tools to your house and get that job done lickety-split. Dustin's main service area is Williamson County and the southern part of Davidson County. So call Dustin Damon, the best handyman in Middle Tennessee today, at 724-683-4400. Tell him you heard about him on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. The Chief Team reminds listeners here that more and more veterans will be returning home over the next few years, and many are local. These heroes have elite military training and valuable professional skills, but they also need jobs too. That's why the Chief Team is encouraging all local businesses. Let's make it the year we hire smart and hire veterans. That's from the Chief Team, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, call 931-444-3572. That's 931-444-3572 for the Chief Team in Clarksville.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music.
PBS presents a new series hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr., Gospel.
Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
Gospel is a prayer. It is our heart's cry to God in lyrics and song.
You feel it deep down in your soul.
Gospel. Streaming now on the PBS app.